we went to Universal as a family once, and it was really a lot of fun. I was so glad to have most of my family there with me. Uh, we stayed in the same hotel, and we would go over to the park. We'd ride a bus to the park, which was actually pretty good because it's so far to go there. And but sometimes it was so crowded you had to stand. But several times people let me, they'd stand up because I'm older and let me sit down. Made me feel good. While we were there, there was a big shop that sold chocolate, and it was, kind of themed around chocolate. And so we went in and we got, did we get food too or just the milkshakes? Okay, so we ate in there, and the kids all got these milkshakes, and they were over the top. I know that Spencer got the double chocolate because he just told me, but the kids all had a hard time eating them because they were so big and they had just eaten. And Spencer also told me that he ate his because he didn't want to make Kristen and Weston upset, because they were getting upset with their kids for not eating them. Because it was kind of expensive, but the milkshakes really are good. I am not one for rides. I definitely won't go on a roller coaster. It has to be something just very mild for me to get on. But they talked me into going on Hagrid's. It wasn't a bad ride. It was a little roller coaster, and it was fun. I was glad I did that. Oh, okay. So there was a very lazy river. That was in the water park, and I'm not big on water either. I'll walk in it and stuff, but Weston made me get into the lazy river. He said, "Oh, that's not bad. Not bad at all." Well, if you swim, it's not bad at all, but if you're afraid of water, it was scary for me, especially certain places where the water would kind of speed up. But after I had done it a few times, yeah, I started enjoying it, partly because I was able to remember where it sped up, and so I could be prepared for that. But it was fun. Okay. I forget what I said about green gods. I know I went, okay. Green gods, I didn't go on the ride, but I did go through I can't think of what do I want to call it, where they had everything. Because they always have a place where you can go in and just walk through and see the things. I remember the little newspapers and the goblins up on the stand, the bank, where the bank tellers were. And it was just a very fun ride. I said ride, wasn't a ride, I didn't go on the ride. But it was cool to be able to go see the things that we've watched on film. It makes it seem more real. And then I just went out a side door, while the rest of you guys went on the ride. Okay, there was a place that had big, giant donuts. I think they were like that big, weren't they? And so we bought some of those and ate them. They were good, I guess. I prefer cream filled, but they were good. They were fresh and good. And we sat by the river that goes through by it and just sat there and ate them and watched people go around and walk. Okay, they always have a parade, so everything pretty much shuts down. You can't get through the parade. I think you can still go on rides, but the parade kind of takes up everything. And so we watched that. It was fun. They had lots of things that I've never seen before in a parade, and so that was fun. I remember we also saw, you know, like heroes, like, yeah, maybe it was like, I don't know if we saw Superman, but you know, that kind of thing that they had around in the park. It was very, very hot. We were all sweating, but we had a lot of fun. We stayed in this, did I already say we stayed in the same hotel? Okay, so we stayed in the same hotel, which is part of the park, which is why you get to ride the buses for free over there. And the park, they were okay. You know, they were big and had, I think it had a fridge and stuff in it. And so we stayed in that. There was like a couple of, we weren't right beside each other though. Trying to think what else we did there. Oh, yes. So when it was time to go home, we all go to the airport, and I can't remember why there was problems with the airplanes. I think there might have been a strike or something, but I'm not sure. And so our plane time departure kept going farther away. They kept postponing it. Well, finally, we had been there before Rod and Becca and Spencer and Vincent, but finally their plane went. So they got to fly out, and we kept sitting there and sitting there, and finally they decided we were going to get a car and just ride across the country, because we never knew when we'd be able to get on the plane. And so we went to a hotel. Well, they rented a car, a van, and then we went to a hotel, and the airline was paying for all this because it was their fault that we weren't flying. So we went there and we went across the country. I remember we ate at White Castle. Never again. It was the worst food I have ever had in my life. And then we also got to go to Buc-ee's. You probably wish you would have been with us. Buc-ee's is a really cool place. It has so many gas that you fill up your gas with. And then inside they have all kinds of food. They have all kinds of clothing, souvenirs. It was just a really cool place. Most people would like to go to it. And I don't know if I got any food, but they did. They got some food, but I think I wasn't feeling great. Anyway, we finally got home. It was a long ride home because we were all stuffed in there with our baggage, and the rest of the people got to get home before us and didn't have that problem of being stuck in a van with a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of luggage. I think that's pretty much what I remember at this time. I can't remember anything else about that right now. I'm sure I can, if I look at, Kristen's got a lot of pictures, I know, so if I look a lot at her pictures, I might remember more things. Oh, did you stop it? Okay. we all got to ride on the train that goes to the castle. And we walked through an area that it kind of, if you're standing far away from it, you can't see the people going through, but it's like 9 3/4. So we got to go through that, and that was fun. And then it took us to the train, and we got to ride on the train a few times. It would go back and forth, and they would have pictures, I guess, or like a movie on the windows. So it looked like the Death Eaters, different things that happened in the show were there. And then it would also it had a shadow of the lady that goes around with the treats on the one side. It was really exciting to do that. Now I think I can't remember anything.